أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه والسنة بسنة من الدين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه اللهم إنا نسألك خير ما سألك عبدك رسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ بك عبدك رسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. Inshallah, we continue with our Friday night family halaqa. And inshallah, tonight we continue with our new series that we started last Friday, which is the Happy Marriage Life series. Last Friday, if you remember, those of you who attended very closely, alaikum assalam, last time when we started the topic with the marriage life itself, we mentioned the introduction to this topic in the context of Surah Rum. So those of you who did not attend last time, you can watch that previous video, part 1 series, right here on our Facebook channel as well as on our YouTube channel also. Just to recap from last Friday, what we had covered was the ayah from Surah Rum, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us from amongst his signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that he has chosen spouses for us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, A'udhu billahi shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, wa min ayatihi an khalaqa lakum min anfusikum azwajan litaskunu ilayha. And from amongst his sign is that he has created for you. The word lakum in Arabic is very important, Stan, as this is the dhamir for the mukhatib and it's sighatul jama'. So it's lakum. For each one of you, Allah has created a spouse. Min anfusikum, from amongst you. And we mentioned that also last Friday, if you remember, about Adam alayhi salam and Hawa being created from his ribs. Azwajan litaskunu ilayha, and the purpose of this creation of a spouse is that you find repose, you find tranquility and peace, and the ability to be stable with the spouse. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً, and Allah has made between you, the two spouses, mawadda, which means love. The root word is wadud or ud, and Allah is one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-wadud, the giver of love and the enabler of love. وَرَحْمَةً, and mercy. إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ, verily in this are signs for people who reflect and contemplate. That is where we left off last Friday. And inshallah, tonight we continue from where we left off. Last Friday was about having synchronized spouses. Synchronized spouses means that the spouse, both husband and wife, their mind is on the same wavelength. The way the husband thinks is the way the wife thinks. Because if there is a mismatch between husband and wife in terms of their mental capacity and engagement, then marriage has a lot of problems. Marriage has a lot of difficulties because husband is on a different tangent, wife is on a different tangent. There is a clash, you can say a clash of titans or clash of civilizations and whatever you want to name it in that perspective. So obviously the introductory program last Friday was to give the projection that we need synchronized spouses. Today, inshallah, our topic will be how to choose the right spouse or how to choose a synchronized spouse. And that is why it's very important to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us, the human beings, the power to choose our life partner, our soulmate. And Allah has given us guidelines about it, how to choose a partner who you're going to live forever. If you remember, last Friday we mentioned that marriages are forever. There is no, a marriage is a contract. Nikah is a contract. You sign a paperwork, you sign with witnesses and everything. So just like any commercial contract, nikah is a contract. You are signing, and because of that signing, the spouse becomes halal for one another. You know, moments before signing the contract, two individuals are totally strangers. They're totally not mahram. They become mahram just by the signing of the contract. And as we explained last time, that all contracts in Sharia, in Islam, have a stipulated time. Whether you enter a partnership, musharaka contract with a business partner, whether you are entering into a ijara, a lease contract, like leasing a place, renting a car, renting a bus, whatever. So it has a time stipulation. It says that the start date of the contract is this and the end date of the contract is this. Subhanallah, nikah is the only contract in Sharia which has no end date. The end date of nikah contract is till death do us apart. There is no concept of temporary marriages in Islam. Yes, once upon a long time it was there. Rasulullah sallam during his time in Medina had abolished it. So mut'a or temporary marriage is no longer valid. That was where it was a temporary contract. But marriages after the abolishing of mut'a, marriages have been forever. Forever in the sense until either spouse dies. So there is no concept that I'm marrying you for 1 year or 2 year or 10 years or 20 years and that's it. So this contract, because this contract is on a long-term basis, therefore it is important for us as human beings to choose the right partner in the contract because longevity and sustainability only comes when you have the right person with you. Otherwise, the contract becomes null and void. And of course, this contract, nikah contract, the only way to get out of this contract is what we call talaq or khula from the wife's side, abolishing. But that is the abghadul halal and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is the most disliked and detested halal. Yes, it is halal, but it is disliked and detested and displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He doesn't want that. But he has allowed an option so that people are not killing each other to separate from one another. So the question that comes up, especially with our youngsters and young spouses today in the society that we have, walaikum salam, brother, welcome to the program. Walaikum salam, welcome to the program. Walaikum salam, brother Samir, welcome. Walaikum salam. So Rasulullah ﷺ said in a hadith, a beautiful hadith, which gives us guidelines in that hadith how to choose your spouse. Now, I know many people, when they're listening to this right now, and if they're already married, they're going to say, Brother Jawad, it's too late. I'm already married. I have a spouse, so I can't choose. No problem. There's nothing wrong. You have a spouse? Alhamdulillah. Thanks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You can now, inshallah, work with your spouse to fit according to this hadith pattern. There's nothing wrong in Islam if you've already done something and then you learn about a teaching of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or you learn about a teaching of the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the Quran. We can always, this is the beauty of insan, flexibility. If you remember last Friday, I mentioned that the number one thing that you need in any marriage to be successful is just one thing: flexibility, being flexible. If you remember the example I gave you of the fingers, that Allah has made these fingers. If you make these fingers bump each other, then obviously there's going to be always friction, always contradiction, tasadum. But if you flex your fingers a little bit and they blend in, this is how husband and wife is. They blend in each other. So for that, you need flexibility. And that's why today many marriages are ending because either the husband or the wife, they're not flexible anymore. And the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasul Sallam and the Sharia encourages us as spouses to be as much flexible as possible, because that is the secret recipe and secret formula for the marriage to be successful in future. Now, the question comes, wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh. The hadith of Rasul Sallam that is mentioned in many of the authentic books of hadith is what Rasul Sallam said, تُنْكِحُ الْمَرْأَ لِأَرْبَعٍ. Rasul Sallam is saying that a woman is married for 4 reasons. Now, what is amazing, and you know why amazing in the hadith, is that he is mentioning the woman. He didn't mention the man. Allah doesn't say that the man is married for these 4 reasons. Rasul Sallam is not saying that the man is married for these 4 reasons, but he's saying tunkahu al-mar'a. Al-mar'a, as we know, is for a woman. Female is used in Arabic. So Rasul Sallam is saying that a woman is married for 4 reasons. Either they're married for this or this or this or that. What are they? This gives you a guideline. of choosing the synchronized spouse or the right spouse that would be leading to a happy marriage life. So Rasul said, تُنْكِحُ الْمَرْأَةَ لِأَرْبَعٍ. A woman is married for 4 reasons. Number 1, إِمَّا لِجَمَالِهَا. Jamal from Jamal means beauty. And we know how people, when they are looking for marriages, the first thing they look is beauty. You know, is she beautiful? Is he beautiful? Is he handsome? You know, is he attractive? Is she attractive? You know, is just fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Rasulullah is not condemning this criteria, but he's saying that this is one of the reasons people marry, meaning their priority, their importance, they base their decision of marrying someone, the fulcrum, the pivot of the whole marriage decision for some people is just based on what? Jamal. And that's what he's saying. Priority. What is your priority in marrying someone? When you want to choose somebody, is your priority beauty? That's what Rasulullah is saying. تُنْكَحُ الْمَرْأَةَ لِأَرْبَعٍ. You know, a woman is married for 4 reasons. إِمَّا لِجَمَالِهَا, either for her beauty, إِمَّا أو إما لنسبها, or she is married for her nasab. Nasab means your lineage, your family, you know, what connection. Like you are the daughter of the president, you're the daughter of the king, you're the daughter of the prince, or you're the daughter of the prime minister, you know, or you just the daughter of so and so, you know, like very high profile personality. So the first thing he said, Rasulullah, is either people marry for the beauty of the lady, of the girl, or they marry for the lineage or the family status, you can say, or the family background and things like that. وَإِمَّا لِمَالِهَا, or she is married for money, for the mal, like she's she's the daughter of a very rich person, like she is loaded in gold from her father and mother. So, you know, it's amazing how Rasulullah is informing this, because when, you know, because the hadith is really talking about a woman, but it's addressing the men. We, the men, Rasulullah is addressing the men, al-rijal. Well, when they choose the mar'a for zawaj, although the topic of the hadith is woman, but the addressee, so to speak, indirectly is the man. But vice versa, it can be applied, meaning a woman may marry a man for his beauty, his charming and dashingness and handsomeness. A woman may marry a man because of his, you know, status and respect and honor and dignity. He might be a very high profile lineage person or high profile status person in society. Or a woman may marry a man because he is very, very rich, you know, filthy rich. So either way it applies, but usually it is men who are looking for things in that direction. And that's why Rasulullah is addressing using the khitab of a mar'a. تُنْكَحُ الْمَرْأَةَ لِأَرْبَعٍ إِمَّا لِجَمَالِهَا أو إِمَّا لِنَسَبِهَا أو إِمَّا لِمَالِهَا, money. The fourth thing he says, وَإِمَّا لِدِينِهَا, or a woman is married for her deen. Now, amazing thing that the Mufassirin Kiram, the, you know, exegesis, the explainers of the hadith, they mentioned the Rasulullah, you know, ended with deen. Deen is not mentioned in the beginning, because in the beginning, if you look at the whole hadith, the 3 things that are mentioned, the 3 parameters that are mentioned, are all worldly things, materialistic. Let's break it down one by one. First thing is beauty, you know, Jamal. Beauty, today you're beautiful, tomorrow you're not. Today you're beautiful, but with aging you become uglier, so to speak. Don't take me for that, please don't mind. But you know, as you age, as you get older and older, the beauty wanes off. You know, your shabab, as we say in Arabic, your peak, your highest point is when you're in your 20s. You know, your peak in your beauty. But when you're in your 40s and 50s, the beauty is waning out. It may still be there. The other thing is, a person may have an accident, may have a fire accident or some other accident, and their beauty is now smashed. So if someone married someone for the sake of beauty, while they were choosing their spouse for being beautiful, then that suddenly is gone away because it's materialistic. Wa alaikum assalam wa barakatuh, sister. Welcome. So beauty is something that is not permanent, number one. Beauty is something that is attractive temporarily. You know, if you remember last Friday, I mentioned that today in America, many of the youth, the shabab, they say, I want to marry when I fall in love. And they're using all the wrong means, all the haram means to fall in love with somebody. Either they're dating or flirting or, hanging out with the opposite gender, doing all kinds of bad stuff with them. And then they say, oh, now we are finally falling in love. And then when they get married, that same couple who married with a love marriage, quote unquote, they get divorced in 6 months, in 3 months, in a year. And then you begin scratching your head and say, wait a second, wasn't this a love marriage? Wasn't this like you guys fell in love? Yeah, but she's just ugly now. Ah, if you use the wrong means to reach your end, the wrong means will then destroy your ends. Remember a principle in Sharia, in usul of fiqh, as they are taught. The end do not justify the means. Again, I repeat, try to understand this principle, an axiom of Sharia. Whatever your end is, whatever your goal is, where you want to reach the end, it does not justify the means you take that to go to the goal. So, for example, if I want to build a masjid, it's a very great end. It's a very great end goal. But if I rob a bank to build a masjid, the means I use is haram, and that does the means is not justified by the end, the goal that we have, building a masjid. That's what the rule is in the fiqh. That the end do not justify the means. Just because your end, your goal is a very noble cause, a very noble thing, the means do not justify that. Similarly, in a marriage, just because your end, your goal is that I want to have a happy marriage life and a life that is full of love and understanding, the means that you reach to that through haram ways is not justified. So Rasulullah is saying when we are choosing a spouse, either somebody is choosing for beauty, or number two, they're choosing for nasab, lineage. Today they are maybe the daughter or son of a great big shot person, high profile person, the king, the prime minister, the president, or the minister, or the mayor, or maybe the father of the boy or father of the girl are, very honorable person today, but tomorrow they are not. So it's temporary. Even the nasab is temporary in the sense. The status of society, the respect in this community is temporary. Today you are at a position, tomorrow you are not. Today you are at this status, tomorrow you may not be. It's temporary. Third thing he mentioned is وَإِمَّا مَالِهَا, money. Today you're rich. Who can guarantee me that you will be rich forever in your life? Can any human being claim that they'll be rich until they die? If they were born rich, fine, their childhood may be rich, their young life will be rich, their middle life may be rich. But will richness with money, money is something that is, how should I put it? Money is like water. If you don't secure it, if you don't hold on to it, it's going to just go. I mean, if you see water flowing somewhere, if you don't put a bucket, if you don't put a tub or something to hold the water is going to just go flow. So money is coming and money is going. It's not going to stay forever. And no matter how much people try to save, money goes away. Suddenly there are unexpected expenses in life. Suddenly there are accidents and calamities and tragedies in life that the money that we may have stored is all gone down the drain. That is why Rasulullah said, your money is that which you have sent forward, meaning sadaqah, the money that you have given to somebody, that is baqa, that remains with you. Why? Because in akhirah, Allah will give you reward for that. Your money is not what you eat or what you spend on yourself. That's gone. Khalas, this is gone. It is not, there's no baqa in that. That money is waste, is gone, finished. But what is held on, what is reserved, is what you send forward for tomorrow. Like Allah said in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullah wal tanzur nafsum ma qaddamat lighad. Wal tanzur nafsum ma qaddamat lighad. Let every soul see what they have sent forward for tomorrow. In Surah Hashr, Allah also mentions that. So that is why when Rasulullah said that a person marries for beauty, beauty is today, tomorrow is not. Marries for status, today there is, tomorrow it is not. Marries for money, today there is, tomorrow is not. None of these three parameters have longevity, stability, sustainability that you can claim and say that, okay, it's going to be there. However, the fourth thing Rasulullah mentioned, وَإِمَّا لِدِينِهَا, but the deen. Today, if there is deen, today, if he or she is a muttaqi person, today, if they fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, today, if they follow the sunnah of Habib Mustafa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inshallah, inshallah, they will continue to follow that till their death. Because when somebody is on deen at a young age, usually you get married at a young age, right? The concept, common sense is you marry at a young age, in your teenagers or 20s, or, whatever the case may be. I know today people are delaying marriages, they're getting married in their 30s or late 20s. But the sunnah of Islam is, as the Sahaba Ridwan did, is marry them early. And we already spoke about this in my other series. If you check on the YouTube channel, we talked about it. What happens if you delay marriages? If you delay marriages, all kinds of problems arise. So I want to repeat that. You can watch the other video on our YouTube channel, inshallah. Now, so when Rasulullah is saying that a person is married for their religion, then he says at the end of the hadith few more words which give us idea what Rasulullah wants us to choose in a spouse. So he started the hadith by saying that, look, these are the four things which people may choose in a spouse. So he starts giving four parameters. تنكح المرأة لأربع إما لجمالها أو لنسبها أو لمالها أو لدينها. So a woman is married for four reasons, either for her beauty or for her status and respect, honor, dignity, or for her money and richness, or for her deen. Then Rasulullah ends the hadith with some mind-boggling word. He says, "Fazfar bizat ad-din tarbat yadak." Allahu Akbar. The Mufassirin Kiram, when they went to explain this hadith, it's like amazing. Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Mansoor. Welcome from Dallas. Alhamdulillah. So it is very, very important to understand what Rasulullah is informing us. Fazfar means grab the opportunity. Zafar, it means that you have an opportunity. You find somebody which is mutadayyin, someone that is deendar. You grab. Rasulullah is saying, don't delay. You are a fool if you delay. You find someone who's religious, grab it. Get that opportunity. Like people do in sales, like retail sales. You have a Black Friday sale, Christmas sale, Cyber Monday sale, this sale, Memorial Day sale. Walmart is advertising, Target is advertising, Macy's advertising. Everybody starts calling, hey, that thing for $500 is now available for $100. Rush, go get it before it's too late. Everybody encourages others that go grab the opportunity. You won't get this again, because the standard rate for that product that is out in the market is usually 50% higher. Right now, there's a big sale. Go grab it. Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar. Rasulullah mentioned 1400 years ago, you find somebody in society with deen, with the taqwa of Allah, with the khashya of Allah, with the fear of Allah, with the love of Muhammad, with the love of the sunnah of Muhammad. So Rasul is saying, Fazfar bizat ad-deen. Zat ad-deen means the one who is the beholder of deen, one whose khuluq, whose akhlaq, whose personality, whose shakhsiyah, يعجبك, I mean, the one that you are really aspiring to see, a person whose character is so beautiful, whose character, male and female both, for the girl and the boy, their character, their akhlaq is full of deen, full of sunnah, Rasul. They realize the boundaries of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like that hadith Qudsi of Hima, the boundaries. Every king has a boundary, and the Hima of Allah is the maharimuhu. The boundary of Allah are the things that Allah has made haram. So if you see someone who is young and they have beautiful, and they are good status and good respect and good dignity, and they're also good in terms of finances, but they have deen, grab the one with the deen. Here, one thing is important to understand, that Rasulullah is training us mentally, programming us that go for the one with the deen, the other three will come automatically. See, when we make choices, sometimes we have to make tough choices in life, isn't it so? Rasulullah is saying, when you're making choices, make your highest priority the one with the deen. The other three will come. It's not in any way, as many people, they misunderstand this hadith of Rasulullah. In no way Rasulullah is saying, don't choose the one that is beautiful, don't choose the one that has money, don't choose the one that is, of status and honor. No, he's saying, Your priority, your first priority, your highest importance should be deen. If deen is there, then you can look at the second and third and fourth priorities. If deen is there and beauty is there, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba. If deen is there and beauty is there and money is there, that is subhanallah, nurun ala nur. What do you need more? And if there is deen and then there is beauty and then there's money and then there's status, then we call this we call this in the Arabic language هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان. What more can you ask for in a spouse, in a wife, in a husband? What more can you ask for if Allah has given all four things in one shot? And that is what Rasulullah is saying. Fazfar, grab, capitalize on it. Don't lose that opportunity. Be rushing. Fazfar, bizat ad-deen. Choose the one that has the deen. And now here comes the tricky part. Here comes the amazing thing. Rasulullah is saying, if you choose the one with the deen, guess what's going to happen to your hand? Because the word used in the hadith is yadak. Yad means hand. And tarbat yadak. Rasulullah is saying, your hands will be flourishing. Literally, the metaphoric expression here means that you will be in prosperity. Amazing, isn't it? Because the hadith mentions four parameters. Apparently, the three parameters have to do with money. Like if somebody with status, somebody with money, that's money. Somebody that's beautiful, also that is quantified as something monetarily good. So Rasulullah is saying that look, if you choose the one with the deen, your hands will be always flourishing with money, flowing like cash flow. What does that mean? In the Quran, there's one word in the Quran that means prosperity, and that word starts with ba. In Arabic, it starts with ba. In English, it starts with b. Did you guess it? Baraka. Baraka. Baraka means prosperity. Baraka means endless prosperity from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Baraka means expansiveness. Baraka means generosity. Baraka means that Allah will take care of you when no avenues are in sight. Baraka means that Allah will give you little but give so much strength in that little that you will have a lot. Baraka means that Allah has given you a lot, He will preserve it so it's sustainable till end of times. Baraka is an amazing word. There is no one single word in any language to translate the word baraka. Baraka is something that is inexplainable because you have to know the Arabic language. And that's the beauty of learning Arabic language. I say this many times. I have emphasized in all my programs and lectures, brothers and sisters, learn the Arabic language. It is important. It is important. Muhim jiddan, to learn the language of Quran so you understand the morphology, the philosophy, the background. Coming back to our topic. So Rasulullah is saying that look, people, they don't want to choose somebody who is deendar or religious, somebody who's not mutadayyin, somebody who has deen. They don't want to choose at all. What is deen gonna give me? Is deen gonna give me money? Is gonna give me dough, dollars, cash? Is deen gonna give me prosperity? People have this mindset, this negative mindset people have, that if you go and choose deen for a spouse, you might not be prosperous. But if you choose money, choose beauty, choose status, blah, 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 then you will. It's amazing how some people are just running after choosing a spouse that is rich. They're the biggest fool in the world. Please excuse my language, with all due respect. I don't mean to insult them, but the biggest fools in the world are who are running after money. Has anyone ever been successful if they're running after money? You remember one of the khutbahs I gave on this topic, you can check on our YouTube channel and Facebook. I talked about those people. There's a hadith of Rasulullah where he said, those people who chase money, money keeps running away from them. So what use is it if you're going to chase money? If you're going to keep running after money, money's going to keep running away. And in that same hadith, Rasulullah said, whoever runs away from money, money will come behind them. So if you're going to choose a spouse that has filthy richness, and money, then remember that you're chasing a dream that is like a mirage. It's not going to be achievable because that money is going to go away pretty soon. Has money ever stayed with anybody here in this world? Has money ever remained with anyone? And that is why it is very important to understand, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, that this hadith is telling us that focus your priority on the one who has deen. And even if they don't have the other three things, if they have the deen, this will bring prosperity to you. Tarbat yadak, meaning like the ayah I mentioned once before from Surah Nur, in yakunu fuqara yughnihum Allah min fadlih. Allah says that marry your children early, because even if they are poor, even if the husband, the prospective husband, is poor, doesn't have money right now, Allah is saying in Surah Nur, yughnihum Allah min fadli. Allah will, and look, it's sigatul muthanna, the dual. Allah says yughnihum Allah. He didn't say yughnihim. He says Allah will make both husband and wife rich, min fadli, from his. Meaning, if you are the father of a daughter and you are worried, should I give my daughter to this man or this boy? He doesn't, amazing it is that today, fathers of daughters, I have a daughter too. And as a father of daughter, I know what many fathers are thinking. That when a person comes to ask for marriage of their daughter, the first thing they think is, what is your salary? Is it 6 figure, 7 figure? Many fathers thinks like that, but of course there are many fathers who do not think like that, and hats off and salute to those fathers. But human tendency, human nature, and the way the society has become so far right now, that people always first think about money. And Allah is saying in Surah Nur, in yakunu fuqara, if they are poor, yughnihum Allah min fadlih. If they are poor right now and they ask for your daughter's hand in marriage, Allah will give them and bless them more. And my dear brother and sister in Islam, I've spoken this many times, that when I married my wife, and my father-in-law did not even ask me what was my salary, he didn't even ask me what's my job, he didn't even ask where the money gonna come from. Even though I was a student at Islamic University in Islamabad, and I was studying, as students, you don't have a job. You're a full-time student. You're studying. Which father would want to give their daughter to a student? They're very, very less fathers. And that's why I say this always, that I respect my father-in-law. And for me, as a father and as a man, as a insan, for me, he is very, very high above, because he trusted me with his daughter when no one trusted me at that time. And when no father would ever try to trust, it's not the norm of society. But there are very few individuals in the world, in the ummah, who are, always looking in hindsight, and who are always, people who are having the vision of the ummah, and they realize that. Wa alaikum salam, Brother Ibrahim. Thank you for joining from Dallas. Ahlan wa sahlan, Habibi. MashaAllah. I hope that the people attend your classes. أتمنى أن الناس إن شاء الله يسجلون معكم. Brothers and sisters, Brother Ibrahim is a very good friend of mine, and he's a dynamic, awesome Arabic teacher. If you want to learn Arabic online right here in America from the comfort of your home, please go to arabicforummah.com. Arabicforummah.com. My friend Ibrahim Ali, he is an amazing teacher. I cannot praise enough. And thank you for joining Ibrahim today. And because the way he teaches Arabic is a phenomenal way, inshallah. So have your sons and daughters register with Arabic for Ummah with Ibrahim, inshallah, in Dallas. So as I was saying, that when it comes to the deen, when somebody chooses deen, remember whose deen it is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that is why Rasul is saying, Fazfar bizat deen tarbat yada. If you choose your spouse based on deen, your hands will flourish, because Allah will support you, Allah will give barakah to you, Allah will enable you and facilitate for you that money comes your way. And I say this, when I was studying in Islamic University, it's a 4-year Usuluddin bachelor's program. And throughout that 4 years, being married and having a wife, taking care of rent and things, we were just surprised where the money would come from. Allah will make the arrangements from ghaib, from amazing sources. And that is why I say, by the brothers and sisters, marry your sons and daughters at a young age while they're in college. The common phenomena people have, that, oh no, if we marry them when they're studying in college, they're gonna drop out, they're gonna become college dropouts. Who said so? If you have the will and the mission and the desire, you can continue. Those people drop out who don't have a mission, a goal in life. Yes, they think that, okay, now I'm married, forget it. Just have love, love, love. Don't worry about studies. No. If you have a mission, if you have a focus, and I know many families in America, right here in New Jersey and other states, who have married their daughters and their sons in college age, and their sons and daughters finished their college, even went on to even graduate school with the family and everything. There's nothing wrong. This is a culturalistic thing, especially from the subcontinent, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, mainly from there, you'll see that because our Arab brothers and sisters, our Arab community, mashallah, they have tawakkul more than the South Asians, I would say. And I've seen many Arab families marry their daughters and sons at a young age. They don't have this much culturalistic, taboo or barriers as much as the Indian, Pakistani, and Bangladeshi societies have. That how will they survive if they marry at young age? So, concluding to our part two session today, and inshallah, next Friday we'll continue from here, part three of this Happy Marriage Life series. Um, Next Friday, the topic will be the purpose of spouse. What is the role of spouse? What's the purpose of spouse? So last Friday was synchronized spouses, meaning mentally engaged, mentally same wavelength. Today we talked about choosing the right spouse. According to the hadith of Rasulullah, he said, and by the way, Rasulullah said by this hadith, he's not meaning that he's discouraging or he is warning that don't choose someone with beauty or money or status. No, by no means he's saying that. And by no means he's discriminating against somebody who chooses. It's fine. You can choose someone. But Rasulullah is saying, make sure that with the beauty there is deen. Make sure with the money there is deen. Make sure with the status and nasab there is also deen. Deen should be the priority. Why? Because deen is longevity. That is why in many of the hadiths, Rasul informed us that Allah loves the ibadah of the young people who are in deen. Because see, when you reach your 40 or 50, after 40, anyway, people start realizing the importance of deen, and they begin to say, oh, let me settle down now. Let me start becoming more religious. Let me be regular in my prayers and my, tilawa and zikr azkar. Because by after 40, there is a kind of serenity, stability that sinks into the person. Up to age 40, people are into entertainment, enjoyment, materialistic life. And I'm not saying this. Allah says that in the Quran. If you go through that in Surah Ahqaf, Allah says, حتى بلغ شده بلغ 40 سنة. حتى بلغ شده وبلغ 40 سنة. Allah used the word 40. 40 is a number, 40. So Allah Himself is saying that your strength, your bodily strength, your mental strength, your physical strength keeps growing and growing until you reach 40. حتى بلغ أشده وبلغ 40 سنة. قال رب أوزعني. When a person reaches 40, male or female, husband or wife, when they reach 40, then they say, oh, you know what? We should get serious about the deen. You know what? We should start following the Sunnah of Rasulullah. You know what? We should start reciting the Quran. حتى بلغ 40 سنة. قال رب أوزعني. أوزعني means give me encouragement, give me tawfiq, give me the facilitation ability. أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي. That, oh Allah, give me the encouragement, the facilitation that I thank you, Allah, for the blessings you have given me and my parents. So the ayah in Surah Ahqaf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is clearly saying that, look, by age 40, we as Allah give you tawfiq. Allah gives tawfiq to people. And we see these kind of people all the time in a society. All around your community, you will see people that after a certain age and threshold, you suddenly start seeing them in the masjid. You suddenly start seeing them in Islamic activity. You suddenly start seeing them in Islamic classes. And you begin to say, is everything okay? Sab theek hai na? Everything is okay? Yeah, I thought I better start worshiping Allah now. I've enjoyed life so much, 40, 50 years, 60 years in my life. I just been playing around, never been serious with my deen, never been serious with my Allah. I think now it's time to settle down. This is what Allah is saying in Surah Qaf. حتى بلغ 40 سنة قال ربي أوزعني أن أشكر. So that's why from this ayah and from the hadith of Rasulullah we see that the deen at a young age is virtuous. Deen in the personality of the person at a young age. As a teenager, if you have deen, this is monumental. This is humongous. Allah loves that. Allah calls all the angels, Malaika, come, Fulan ibn Fulan, look, they are so mutadayyin, they're so religious. Look, Fulan ibn Fulan, she or he are so much worshipping me. Allah praises their name amongst the Malaika. Allah says to the Malaika, look, this is the person, this young shab. shabab, or this young mar'a, this young girl and young boy, in spite of all the temptations, in spite of all the distractions, in spite of all the lust and desire that the society throws at them, still they are holding fast onto the rope of Allah. See, when you are young, you are tempted more. When you're older, you're less tempted. Of course, even older people are tempted, but the ratio and the frequency is lesser. So when you're young, you are distracted, you're tempted, you're attracted to things. And if at that time you are focusing a major chunk of your life to deen, that is what Rasulullah is saying. فَاظْفَرْ بِذَاتَ الدِّينِ تَرْبَتْ يَدَاكَ. Choose the one with the deen, your hands will be flowing with money, cash flow. Because if you choose someone with beauty, you may have money, beauty today, but tomorrow not. You choose someone with money, they have the money today, but maybe tomorrow they're not. And maybe tomorrow when they become not beautiful, you start having resentment that why did I marry this individual? Maybe tomorrow when they don't have enough money, you have hesitation. Oh, did I do the right decision? Why did I marry this person? Maybe when their status is gone, they were the daughter of the minister or mayor or king or something. Now they're not. Their father retired or their father got removed. Now they're just like an ordinary person. And if you married them because of their status, now the status is not there, and you feel like, my marriage is wasted. So that is the beauty of this hadith that Rasulullah is saying, who you want to choose. But at the same time, Rasulullah is not at all discouraging or discriminating against those other three entities or three parameters of beauty and status and money. If that is with the deen, has a nurun ala nur, subhanallah. But don't go chasing for beauty, don't go chasing for money, don't go chasing for status. What you should look for in a spouse, the first thing is deen. If deen is there, you tick it off, then you say, okay, I also would like someone who's pleasurable, presentable, and that is why compatibility is another different issue, because we will talk about this some other days. Another one of the in this series, another Friday, we'll just dedicate on compatibility. How are spouses compatible? It is one thing to choose someone based on a parameter of deen or money or handsomeness or beauty or status, but it's a totally different thing how to understand the compatibility in this hadith. So inshallah, we'll talk about it next Friday or the Friday after that, about the compatibility of spouses, inshallah. But for next Friday, inshallah, the topic is the purpose of a spouse. What you should be looking for in a spouse. Today we looked about choosing a spouse, but the purpose of a spouse is this. And that we'll talk about next Friday, inshallah, again, 7 p.m. right here on our Facebook channel, ISNJ. Please subscribe to our Facebook channel. And if you like this video, please click like so that our likes can help generate funds for our Muzid, inshallah. You can also see it on our Facebook channel, like the Facebook page. So this way you'll get updates when we have our programs. Jazakallah khairan for attending tonight. Inshallah, we'll conclude because Isha is 8 o'clock. So I got to rush to the masjid and we got to pray Isha. Allahumma anta salam, minka salam, tabarakta rabbana wa ta'alayta ya zal jalal wal ikram. اللهم إنك عفو كريم حليم تحب العفو فاعف عنا اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار والحقنا بالصالحين يا رب العالمين. Oh Allah, bless us in our marriages. Oh Allah, help our spouses, our husband and wives to have fruitful and beneficial marriage. Oh Allah, those couples who are having difficulties and hardships in their marriages, oh Allah, resolve their differences, resolve their hatred, animosity amongst them. Oh Allah, put the love. Oh Allah, you are the wadud, you are the giver of love. Put the wud in the relationship, in the halaqa between the husband and wife. Oh Allah, protect our families. Oh Allah, protect our marriages. Oh Allah, protect our families and marriages from shaitan, from the hilat of shaitan, from the tricks and treachery of shaitan. Oh Allah, protect our husband and spouse, our husbands and wives from the influence of shaitan, from the waswas of shaitan. Oh Allah, shaitan wants to destroy the marriages. Oh Allah, destroy the shaitan and destroy his old tricks and treachery that he wants to apply on the marriages. Oh Allah, help our children, help our youth choose right spouses. Oh Allah, help our children to choose the right husbands and the right wives in for the sake of this deen. Oh Allah, strengthen the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh Allah, strengthen the ummah of Habib Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Oh Allah, strengthen the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu with the beautiful marriages, with the right spouses, with the prosperous marriages and beneficial marriages. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman Rahim. Wa sallallahu fi khalqi Muhammad sallallahu wa ala alihi wa sahbihi rahmati rahimin. Subhanak Allahumma bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illallah nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.